Hello, everybody. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. I'm Skip Elsheimer, and I accidentally started the show early and then stopped it. Basically, Restream was like, "Oh, you're streaming something? Let me just go ahead and just share that with everybody." And I'm like, "No, not yet." So, anyways, I'm back in the archive, as you can see. I was traveling for some consulting and had some Nashville hot chicken. It was delicious. Yeah. Anyways, I'm back. So I have a film set up on the telecine, which is behind me. It is 16 millimeter, and that's what we do here, is watch old 16 millimeter films. And that last film was from the Orgone Archive, and ultimately from the Mogul Brothers collection. And yes, somebody did comment, it seems weird to have a silent film about songbirds. I mean, that's part of the deal, is you want to hear their songs. But, this is before sound technology was on 16, so here you go. All right, so anyways, film set up on the telecine. We're going to watch it. Morning Harbor. Enjoy.
This light has been guiding ships in and out of the harbor all through the night. A harbor never closes. Now it's morning, and the start of another busy day at the harbor. Many things happen at the harbor, and it takes many people working together. Tugboats go out to help bring barges and large ships into the docks. The large ships must be docked slowly and carefully. It's a group effort. Tugmen, the ship's crew, and dock workers must know exactly what to do. A harbor is the country's window to the world. Ships from all over the globe wait their turn to drop off or pick up goods. Some types of cargo, like these cars, come from far-off countries and have been stored in the hold of the ship. The unloaded cargo waits to be sent to other parts of the country, an important part of trade between nations. But some cargo, like this fish, is processed right at the harbor. It was frozen immediately after being caught at sea, and must be put into packages while it's still frozen to keep fresh. Modern machinery and skilled workers help get the fish to our tables quickly and efficiently. Goods are also brought to the harbor by truck or train from all parts of the country. The harbor becomes a funnel for goods and products from one country to the rest of the world. Here, grain is being unloaded so that it can be weighed and tested for quality before being shipped to other lands.
Okay.
The grain is then dumped directly into the hold of the ship. The grain must be loaded evenly so the ship will be balanced. It will travel many miles over the seas. People who work at the harbor get used to heavy equipment and constant activity. Huge cranes like these make loading and unloading at the harbor much easier. These huge boxes contain many smaller boxes and packages of different kinds of goods, which are stored, then sorted, and packed right here at the harbor. People and computers help keep accurate records of what comes in and what goes out. Goods will be resorted according to where they go and loaded back onto the large containers to be taken by trucks, train, or ship to distant cities and states. This kind of activity goes on all day, often all night. All of these activities are controlled by special machines right at the harbor.
You can stop and let go when the thing gets your length in, like put your ball right to the west.
The boxes on this ship's deck are filled with mail and packages that will travel to many different countries, bringing trade and communications about our country to people all over the world. The harbor is much more than a place where ships come and go. Perhaps you can think of other reasons why harbors are so important to us. Remember that being a window to the world means we get to know more about other countries and people, but also those people get to know more about us, our people, our products, and our way of life.
That film had it all. The soundtrack was awesome. Then Gilligan's Island script font at the end. Beautiful industrial footage of the harbor, the port, stuff getting loaded in and taken out of ships. I love it. It's really great. All right. So I'm having audio issues on my end. I don't know. Did the audio break up for you guys during that last film at all? Was it like kind of occasionally going in and out? Not as bad as it was before, but I'm just trying to figure this out. Had to update some software, and of course, when you do that, everything gets smooshed and messed up, so it's very frustrating. We love watching a very niche-related film. Big fan. I mean, that's what a lot of the AV Geeks collection is, films that were made for a very specific audience at a very specific time. And this film is... I actually bought this on eBay, I think. This is SSS, or Triple S, they call it. What do you think Triple S is? I mean, besides psst. Anybody have a guess what this film is about? It's pretty awesome. So, enjoy SSS.
Triple S orange safety color. Not all cleaning operations are the same. In fact, they vary tremendously from one business to another. A manufacturing plant has one set of problems, an office another. Depending on the type of floors, layout, and 100 other pertinent factors, you will want to follow the most appropriate type of cleaning operation. But which? A good question. And to answer it, the resources of the entire Triple S organization are brought to bear. For no matter what business you are in, there is at least one Triple S company whose experience is extensive in your type of maintenance. If your Triple S representative cannot give you the answer right away, he will have a special study conducted by Triple S headquarters. For regardless of the size of your local Triple S distributor, he has access to the research facilities of the entire worldwide Triple S organization. Among the many cleaning products on the market, which are the most suitable for a particular cleaning operation? Which give the best performance for the money? These answers are difficult and expensive to ascertain for yourself. Moreover, individual supply companies cannot afford to compile such broad product knowledge alone. Your SSS organization, because of its size, can do this for you. The products distributed by a SSS member have been thoroughly tested by several member companies. Detailed questions have been answered, special tests and cleaning operations have been carried out. SSS tests hundreds of such products each year, but only a small number are accepted. Cleaning with safety means knowing your products and when and where they are to be used. It means being aware of the importance of safety in your daily work habits. And it means knowing not only how to use your equipment, but also how to maintain it in a safe working condition. Knowing and doing this not only prolongs the life of your equipment, but also makes your job easier and you more efficient. A rotary single-disc machine, due to its ability to work in confined spaces, is one of the most widely used machines in our industry. Here the machine is about to be placed incorrectly on top of the SSS big wheel in an attempt to engage the clutch plate. Many machines have suffered severe damage to their gear systems due to this bad practice. Notice the manner in which the SSS big wheel is being placed on the clutch plate. This is the correct and safe method. Always keep the cord clear of the driving assembly of the machine. If it should become entangled in this assembly, the cord could be broken or cut. This not only means the possible loss of the cord, which is an expensive replacement, but it could also create an electrical hazard for the operator. Always work away from the cord rather than toward it. Cord damage can again be reduced by grasping the plug rather than the cord when removing it from a wall socket. Never store a machine with a brush on it. The weight of the machine will cause the brush to flatten and lose its efficiency. The brush should be removed and stored on a shelf or hung on the wall. After a scrubbing or stripping job, the pads or brushes are thoroughly cleaned. The electrical cord has been wiped, and now the machine is cleaned. Periodically, the screws of the floor machine should be tightened and the wheels lubricated. Wipe the excess oil from the wheels. The motor is sealed. Do not touch the motor. Your vacuum can also be converted into a blower unit by placing the suction hose into the exhaust port. It can then be used to periodically blow out the air vents of the floor machine. This helps to prevent overheating of the floor machine motor. Straight suction or tank-type vacuums will remove surface soil from a carpet. However, a vacuum with a beater brush will remove compacted dirt and other soil deeply embedded under the carpet pile. The beater brush should be adjustable to the various depths of pile. Always keep the cord clear of the beater brush. An overfilled dust bag will greatly reduce the vacuuming efficiency of the machine and will eventually plug it completely. The man turning this machine in to his supervisor stated that it would not work. The only thing wrong was that the bag had overfilled and the dirt had impacted into the intake channel and throughout the head of the machine. Once this impacted dirt was removed and the bag emptied, it worked perfectly. Vacuum bags should never be washed or dry cleaned. A vigorous shaking is all that is needed to keep them in good working condition. Agitator brushes must be replaced as they wear. To check brushes, place a piece of cardboard or a ruler across the nozzle. If the brush does not touch it, it is time for a replacement. It is important that the correct shampoo be used in carpet cleaning. Triple S offers shampoos for both rotary machine shampooing and also dry foam type cleaning. This is a wet and dry vacuum. This is the dust filter bag and must be in the machine when dry material is being picked up. It prevents harmful dust from entering the motor. The filter bag should also be in place when picking up moisture from carpets following shampooing. The filter bag is removed when vacuuming liquids. This is the float valve. It automatically stops the wet pickup action when the water reaches the top level. However, if the solution is sudsy, the foam will not shut the valve. If foamy material is being picked up, the tank must be checked visually to determine when to empty it. The most frequent repair problem for wet and dry vacuums is caused by foam being sucked through the exhaust ports. This corrodes the vacuum fans and exhaust ports and causes the machine to malfunction. Using a low sudsing detergent will help prevent this problem. After a wet pickup job, the tank has been emptied and rinsed. The Safety Orange Triple S hose and tools are then wiped clean. To prolong the life of the hose, it should be suspended from 2 points. The top of the vacuum should be left at a slight angle. A custodian is responsible for many types of equipment other than machinery. While using concrete or wood floor seals, lamb's wool applicator heads may be saved for reuse by first pressing out the seal. Then remove the handle and wrap the head in a dry Turkish towel. Next, saturate 2 or 3 towels in a mineral spirit solvent and wring them dry. Wrap these towels tightly around the applicator head and then cover this with heavy paper or plastic such as the Triple S can liner. The fumes from the mineral spirits will keep the lamb's wool moist and ready for use for days. If lamb's wool applicators are used to apply water emulsion finishes, they may be cleaned in warm soapy water and left on the frame for drying. Many times a clogged dispenser can be put back into working order by filling it with hot water. This will liquefy any congealed soap. Then the spout can be cleaned with a pen or paper clip. If this fails, then the dispenser should be disassembled to determine if any of the components need to be replaced. Triple S offers 3 liquid, 1 lather, and 1 powdered soap dispenser. The manufacturer's instructions should be followed when installing any soap dispenser. If the back plate has 4 screw holes, then they should all be used. This makes the dispenser more secure from damage or pilferage. A mobile trash collection cart is the most efficient way of collecting wastebasket refuse. This Triple S cart also has a handy caddy for carrying assorted cleaning tools. The cart is strong and will hold up to 200 pounds, yet it folds into a compact 10-inch width for storage. Triple S also offers a top-quality plastic liner for all sizes of wastebaskets and cans up to 55-gallon drums. Plastic liners prevent the interior of the receptacle from becoming impregnated with soil and eliminates the time-consuming job of washing the baskets. Daily sweeping of floors is considered to be one of the most important steps of floor care. A treated dust mop not only removes visible debris, but also the fine dust and sand particles that will scratch and mar the floor finish, causing it to wear away more quickly. A dust mop can only pick up so much soil and then it must be unloaded by shaking. Doing this frequently ensures a better job of sweeping. Triple S dust mops are available in Triple S Safety Orange color or Hospital White. Some traffic areas require daily damp mopping. This should be done with a neutral detergent. Follow the directions on the label or consult with your Triple S representative to determine the correct dilution ratio. Excessive use of even a neutral cleaner can cause a cloudiness to the luster of the finish. It may even cause a deterioration of the finish. Wet mops should be thoroughly washed out at the end of each workday. Mop buckets, both galvanized and microline, along with the wringers, should be rinsed and dried before storage. Mop bucket casters, like other casters and moving parts, should be lubricated occasionally. Be sure to wipe away the excess lubrication so that it will not drip on the floor. Dust mops should be cleaned with a Triple S gong brush at the end of each workday. This practice increases the efficiency and longevity of the mop. If dust mops are retreated periodically between launderings or disposal, this should be done at the end of the workday, and they must be allowed to hang overnight before using them. Never allow a dust mop to stand overnight on a porous floor or surface, as the treatment will be transferred from the mop into the porous surface. They should be hung with the face away from the wall. If the dust mop is laundered and retreated, it should be stored in a plastic bag, such as a Triple S can liner, to prevent loss of treatment while in storage. Your Triple S representative offers you both the reusable dust mop, as we have seen, and also the new economical disposable dust mop. Each of these locations requires a different type of floor brush or broom. Your Triple S representative is trained to help you select the proper brush for the job. If the handle position is changed weekly, the efficiency and life expectancy of the broom will be greatly improved. This custodial supply room reflects good planning and also the custodian's pride in his skill and workmanship. We in the sanitation field are rightfully proud of our contributions to our environment. Great advancements have been made in the quality of sanitation chemicals and equipment. We as members of Triple S are proud of these accomplishments, and you too must be equally proud of your industry. Being proud of your work and your tools ensures superior results and a safer environment for all.
So this is not the only film I have about floor care. This one is Triple S. This is kind of a combination. Here's some helpful hints for your staff, and also here's an ad for what we sell. So, love stuff like that. I never worked as a janitor, but I certainly worked jobs where, here, clean that up. You know, retail, like, here, no, you got to sweep the back, type of things. So, got a film on a telecine. Most of you said you're not having problems with audio. That's great. It must be some sort of monitoring thing on my side. This film, you guys had a heyday with what SSS stood for. Trying to figure out what this is. Passing and being passed. What is it about? I don't know. Enjoy.
About 7% of all accidents caused while driving occur when a car is passing or being passed, usually because someone's in a hurry. Passing is a normal part of driving. We pass because we think the other driver is going too slow, or because we're in too big a hurry, or because we just have to be first. How do you feel when others pass you?
I do resent being passed, yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
I'm annoyed if they pass me.
Most of the times, no, I don't.
Well, I don't resent it at all.
Well, I don't like it.
Is it legal to pass more than one car at a time?
I believe so, if you're driving in the right position and you're careful.
Yes, it is if there's enough area to pass more than one vehicle.
I'm not absolutely sure of the legal implications.
I don't anyway.
Can you exceed the speed limit when you make a pass?
No, we cannot.
Well, if I had to pass them, I would pass them at a higher speed, but I usually don't pass the car.
They probably give you a ticket, you know, if they caught you.
Yes, you can. On a highway, you're permitted to legally exceed the speed limit.
What should you do when someone passes you?
Well, you just keep your normal speed.
No, I slow down, you know, when I know that they're coming around me.
Why do you pass?
Oh, I think there are times when you have to pass.
If everybody is going the normal speed limit, they should not be passed.
If somebody's in front of me, I have to get around them.
The only reason I do is when someone's going real slow.
Well, sometimes you have to pass people because you find a lot of people drive way below the limit.
If they're going too slow, I'll pass them.
What do you gain?
Nothing, really.
Get to where I'm going faster.
When is it illegal to pass?
Could be in many different, conditions.
Seems to me it's a double yellow line.
Oh, jeez. Certain speed zones, I don't know.
Well, when you've got your double yellow line.
Well, the yellow lines in the street and signs that tell you do not pass, or signs that state that there's a curve ahead.
As far as I know, it's only where there's a yellow line.
The straight line, the yellow straight line?
A single yellow line on your side of the road, you know.
Do you blow your horn when you pass?
No, always.
No.
Yes, I do use the horn.
I don't think you need it.
How can you get in trouble with the vehicle passing you?
By trying to speed up when he's trying to pass me.
Probably by running him off the road or something, you know, or not letting them pass.
I don't really like passing anybody. It makes me nervous.
knowledge and attitudes about passing expressed in the unrehearsed interviews you've just seen are typical of the driving population at large. Some know the laws and safe driving procedures, some don't, some are uncertain. They are less than perfect drivers, and the accident statistics of the nation reflect their faults. Defensive drivers know the right driving techniques and practice them the right way every time. The art of passing and being passed, as you have seen, is one of the important driving techniques you must learn to perform the right way as a matter of habit. Meet the me first driver. He passes because he has to be at the head of the parade. He makes life dangerous for all of us. The ironic part is that he'll never get to the head of the line. It doesn't exist. And usually all his hurry gets him is right back where he started. Have you ever wondered what difference 5 miles an hour makes in going from one place to another? These two drivers left this stoplight at the same time, traveling to a town 50 miles away. One went 50 miles per hour. The other 55. The faster car arrived 5 1/2 minutes earlier. 5 1/2 minutes. And spent it getting gas. There's a proper way to make a pass. First of all, ask yourself, is this pass necessary? If it is, maintain a safe following distance. Remember the 2-second rule. 1001, 1002. Check the road ahead. If you can see movement in the approaching car, it means there is not enough time to pass safely. Check the traffic behind, too, to make sure no one is trying to pass at the same time you are. All clear? Then turn on your left turn signal and move into the left lane. Make your pass. Warn the other driver if necessary. Turn on your right signal as you pull ahead of the passed car. Return to the right lane only when you can see the front of the car you've passed in your rearview mirror. Cancel your signal and resume normal speed. See how easy it is to pass? You won't always be passing another automobile, but the same rules apply for a motorcycle. The motorcycle rider should stay in the left wheel position of a car. Edging to the right is an invitation for trouble. Even though the motorcycle is in the right wheel position, treat it just like it had 4 wheels. Move into the left lane to pass with the same regard for oncoming traffic. So far, we've concentrated on passing on a 2-lane highway. Now let's move to a completely new situation, the expressway. Here, you don't have to worry about approaching traffic, but otherwise, passing is much the same. Before starting a pass, check the road behind. You have to learn to judge distance and speed of traffic coming from behind you, too. Don't depend on mirrors. Make a visual check. When it's clear, signal to enter the left lane and make your pass. Every time one driver makes a pass, another driver is being passed. On an expressway, you have to watch for cars on the right as well as the left. Sometimes a car entering the expressway will be moving slower than the flow of traffic on the highway. point to remember is that you share the responsibility of getting a driver onto the expressway safely. Passing takes two. Just as there is a right way to pass, there is a right way to be passed. Some people feel threatened when you start to pass. But passing or being passed is not the time for games. When a car moves up to pass you, help him out. If a car is approaching from the opposite direction, slow down so the driver can get around you and back onto the safe side of the highway. Let's take a minute to review what we've seen about passing and being passed in the last few minutes. Passing takes judgment and courtesy and patience. Don't be in a hurry. Is the pass really necessary? Know when to pass and how to pass. Follow the rules. It will save a lot of aggravation and lives.
Oops. Had somebody at the door. Hope you didn't have to wait long. Anyways, what do we got? What do we got set up for you? Let's learn about painting trees.
Good evening. I am Elliot O'Hara, starting on a countrywide sketching trip and inviting you who share my love for trees to join me. We'll find the Kamani tree and the royal palm in Hawaii, the ceiba, or silk cotton, in Florida, Spanish moss in Georgia, or an old cottonwood in Tucson. We'll visit Key West for coconut trees and the state of Maine for this wild cherry. Pictures can be realistic or abstract, but before dealing with plains like this, or rhythm, or selective color, we should go back to three fundamentals: a possible symbol for the tree, the structure of trunk and branches, and the character of the foliage. We'll start with this old elm in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. The elm has a definite structure, and the artist, ever on the watch for symbols, can easily notice that all of the limbs branch out to make the letter Y. This is more apparent in the winter, when we can see that the smaller branches repeat the same motif. Let us use this symbol, then, in painting the elm. If new, smaller Ys are added on top of each larger one, the result will have to be an elm tree. Finding a symbol for it is the first step towards capturing the personality of any tree. In the winter, when branches are bare, the sides of the Y are steep, but add several tons of leaves and the Y widens, causing the tree to mushroom out and to have a greater spread. Trees are not flat like printed Ys, but have branches that reach towards us and away, like these hands. Since light outdoors falls from above, we see the dark underside of the branches that incline towards us but those on the far side show their light top sides. We'll make this one come towards us, also that one. The others, by contrast, will naturally seem to recede. In the bright sunlight of summer, the trunk will have a light and a dark side. I'm double loading the brush, putting the light color for the sunlit part on one side and the dark shadow color on the other. The simpler the description, the better. It is with this kind of stroke that I propose to paint the Y symbols. I'll do them as actual tree trunks and branches. The brush held diagonally makes the smaller branches. A shadow of a branch on the trunk. When there are leaves, they make a screen against the sky. We can achieve this effect by smearing with the flat of the brush, rather than by stroking. The paint remains only on the highest part of the paper's granular surface. The shadow side will be darker, as well as the underparts of the leaf masses, but should look warmer than this paint did on the palette. Two brushes on the same handle save time. They don't come that way, but it's easy to pull out the stick and combine them. They also take less space in the box. Twigs and small branches should go in while the foliage is still wet. They should, moreover, be seen in the breaks of sky. Those which occur under the umbrella of leaves will naturally be dark. Darker here, and very dark underneath. Now let us explore further the symbols for various trees. The maple, like the elm, has a symbol, the letter U. Steeper at the top, but wider below, so that the branch tips can stretch out to the vital sunlight. These trees were found in North Conway, New Hampshire, the Lombardy poplar. It reaches for the sky, and the artist's hand should feel the upwardness of the strokes, as if drawing long-stemmed L's. The branches of the weeping willow start in the same way, but as the brush moves up, it tires, and like a rocket, trails and swings listlessly. The Japanese have an amusing symbol for the pine branch. It is a duck's leg. Let that be the duck, and this the leg with its webbed feet. The pine trunk now replaces the duck, and we have only to add needles at the tip. Like analogies in writing, symbols in painting serve to heighten a quality. The sycamore should be characterized by a sickle. The same straight line with a curve on the end could serve as well for the apple or even the oak. The oak is strong. The hand that was listless when painting the willow must now hold the brush tightly and move with vigor. There is an unexpected quality in oak twigs and branches. They go their own way. The cedar, eucalyptus, and Monterey cypress have spiral markings in their bark, like strands of a frayed rope. This effect may be achieved in watercolor by long, sweeping strokes of a brush, which has so little paint that the hairs separate and act like a lot of small brushes. This cypress is in La Jolla, California. A four-tined pitchfork is shown because its structure resembles that of the mangrove. This tree, as you can imagine, is well anchored against the thrust of wind and tide. Turning from symbols to foliage, we find that a rough-brushed area as a basis may be treated to represent foliage of various trees. Tag it with a few large spots and you have a catalpa. The same treatment could serve for a magnolia or a banyan. A horse chestnut would have the spots in groups. The maple also has large leaves, and in autumn they are brighter in color than those of almost any other tree. A few brush marks label the character of the leaves. It's great fun, this putting in of dots, and when a thing is fun, we are likely to do too much of it. So whether it is a red tree or a yellow one, I advise that you use restraint. While the poplar foliage is finer, the same kind of rough brushing can describe it. But they are being labeled with small round dots at the tips of the upswept branches. This way. For pine needles, it is sufficient merely to flick the brush out from the edges of the painted area. An equally good method for Spanish moss. But here we flick downward. If it is a eucalyptus tree, then we may tag the clusters by narrow brush marks. Blossoms, as well as some kinds of foliage, are handled in quite a different manner. The background has been painted, and before it is dry, I drop clear water into it. These strokes I have nicknamed oozles. The process blurs one clump of foliage into another, just as whole trees may dissolve in the distance. Trees, like people, are gregarious. As in crowds, a few individuals may dominate a scene, while vast numbers are blurred and lost. This is the background going in now. When the blossoms are dry, the dark branches can be added, crisply, to contrast with the wet blended oozles and the distance. For these canoe birches in New Hampshire, the background is wet blended to throw it out of focus, and the trunks are taken out while the paint is still wet. The knife held flatly makes a broad mark, but for the finer branches, its tip is used. Do not hold the knife as if shaving, but as if spreading butter. That way. The excess paint forms the triangular marks that usually occur under each branch intersection. Aspens in Colorado or melaleucas in the south can be treated in this same way. The sycamore trunks turn and twist like serpents, and it is characteristic of them that the bark peels off, leaving leopard spots of tan or gray. Most pine trunks have rough bark, like this one at Lake Tahoe. This old beech shows scar tissue and stumps from lost branches. In painting these redwoods, I used wide knife scratches to portray the vertical slabs of bark. Going now to the south, we find entirely different sorts of trees. Their leaves or fronds are waxed and glossy to prevent the sap from evaporating in the tropical heat. The banana is a very good example of this. The trunk of the royal palm looks like cement, but has annular creases. These vary in thickness according to wet or dry years. Again, the double-loaded brush is used, but it continually starts and stops to show these creases. In the coconut bowl, there are circular grooves too, but they are like threads on a screw. We paint them by putting on first a band of color and then a zigzag line with a small brush. With certain palmettos, the fronds do not drop off but are cut, leaving spikes sticking out in spiral rows. A possible way of painting them is with rectangular dabs and knifing, but there may be better ways of portraying them. The skirted or petticoat variety has to be painted with long, whisked-on strokes. Then there will be the dark cracks. A very fine nesting place for rats, I'm told. This is the underside, and these the dark cracks. The royal palm does not sweep or fan outward, but from the green sheath above the trunk unfurls a proud plume. I think it's my favorite of all the palms. In the palmetto we find a thin stalk with a fan. This one is in California. It may be interpreted with a double motion, sidewise and outward. In the actual painting of the tree, it comes out in this manner. Coconut fronds are flexible and frequently occur on one side, being more affected by the wind than those of the royal palm. The top of the Washingtonian palm radiates like spokes of a wheel from a center and has a circle of fans at the ends. Trees are of various races, and they have their own personalities. I've tried to help you see their qualities, and I hope added to your enjoyment of them. We won't say goodbye to trees. They will always be here, unless we destroy them. They are the other half of the living world, and have almost as much capacity for being loved as people and animals. We climbed them when we were young. We walk among them now. And when our end comes, we may have our final rest under them. We may even share their beauty by becoming one with them.
So we got a little Bob Rossi at the end, talking about trees. I'm a big fan, of course, of Bob Ross. The documentary is bittersweet, but it doesn't impugn who Bob Ross was and what he did and his shows. It just shows that people would take advantage of someone like Bob Ross. But his legacy is still pretty amazing as far as his shows and things. And I have other films by Elliot O'Hare that were released by Encyclopedia Britannica. So hopefully we'll watch some more of those at some point. Thanks for tuning in today and dealing with some of the technical problems we have. There's always technical problems. I mean, come on, let's face it. It's part of the deal, right? You know, you deal with something that's almost 100 years old with the film, and then you have all this equipment that's kind of only 20 years old, and then you got all this other stuff which is brand new, and then you have software issues. It's a nightmare, but I appreciate you bearing with us. If you'd like to support us for what we do, you can buy us coffee at ko-fi.com/avgeeks. You can also visit us at avgeeks.com, and see other things we have digitized. And you can also buy DVDs there, and you can hit the thumbs up, the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, all that stuff. So we'll be back again tomorrow to watch more films, and we'll see you soon. Take care.